going to try this again. A potentially historic day for Randy Johnson, going for career win number 300. About 10 minutes ago in Washington, D.C., taking the tarp off the field, feeling pretty good, thinking we might get this thing in at the start time of 1:30. And then about, 2 minutes ago, well, apparently a change of heart, because here comes the tarp back out onto the field, and I feel like we've played this song before, once or twice. 4 hours of rain and a delay and eventual postponement last night, and now here we go again, doing the rain dance in the nation's capital. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Giants Pre-Game Live. Scott Reese, Bip Roberts. Let's hope it's pre-game live. It's the game part that seems to elude us as Randy Johnson continues to wait patiently for a shot at history.
Yeah, words like boat,
arc,
things like that, flood. Those things come to mind right now. But the one thing I know is that whatever happens, Randy Johnson will come out focused and determined like he's always been. This is just a speed bump in the way of him getting number 300.
Well, certainly Randy's been around a long time. He's dealt with all kinds of adversity, and this is just, as you say, a little speed bump in the road. But I tell you what, more like a monsoon last night as you see Randy and Aaron Rowan looking on, and they tried and they discussed and they waited some more, and he stretched, but ultimately just could not get it done on Wednesday. So what about the forecast for Thursday? Well, let's get the latest AccuWeather forecast from Jim Kozak. Well, the weather in D.C. so far, guys, hasn't been very, very good to me or the locals, that's for sure, nor the Giants that are in town. We've seen it more times than not early today. The steadiest and the heaviest will be shifting out to the north and east before the proposed start time of 4:35. The unfortunate thing is there's still going to be pockets of showers and thunderstorms coming in. Now, we have cooled things off and gotten our latest front farther off to the south than the recent most 24 hours, so there's no risk of severe weather coming back in, so we don't have to worry about hail. We don't have to worry about damaging wind gusts. But anytime you hear thunder, it's a byproduct of lightning. And anytime you have that, the umps are going to call that game in a heartbeat. Now, there is a window of opportunity for the big unit to get the game in. If it happens, I truly believe it's going to be a rain-shortened game that he could possibly get in for the 300th victory. Nonetheless, it's just so tight of a window, I don't even want to be betting in on this one here, because the rain, even though it's becoming more intermittent, I think it's going to be coming back in during the course of the game. So it's really tough to see a 2-3 hour stretch where it's going to do absolutely nothing this afternoon. So that, unfortunately, is going to be the problem. And obviously, if it doesn't happen here, it's going to be at a different venue, because San Francisco travels to Florida for the upcoming weekend series. And meanwhile, the Nationals will be taking on the Mets. All right, Jim, thanks. Let's get the update from our weatherman in Washington, D.C. Check in with Mike Krukow, Dwayne Kuiper. Guys, how we looking for baseball?
Not good. It's still raining. I mean, they took the tarp off here. There's a little intermittent break. But as bad as we want this thing to stop and as bad as we want this game to be played, it's still raining, and the drops are heavy.
You know, and really the sad thing is, we watched Randy Johnson last night and how disappointed he was that they, didn't get the game in. And he's going through it right now as well. He's constantly sticking his head out of the dugout to see what the situation is. I mean, you saw yesterday, not only was it raining on the field, he couldn't even get into the dugout. And then once they got that squared away, Dave Righetti did that's it, and who knows what's going to it's going to be a long day here, because as everybody knows, the Giants do not come back.
Well, that's the problem. The Giants do not come back because of the imbalanced schedule. I mean, the Giants and the Nationals don't even have a coinciding off day between now and the end of the year, with the exception of the All-Star break. Now you say, well, gee, maybe they can make it up that Thursday of the All-Star break. No, can't do it. The Giants are traveling to Pittsburgh that day, and the Nationals have a game that day, I believe, against the Chicago Cubs. So that's out. And the only way you really can make this up is at the end of the year, and nobody wants to do that. So we're going to be hunkering down here for a while.
Well, guys, you stay nice and dry up in there. What would Randy's mindset be, knowing that it's constantly raining, and how does he stay upbeat, ready to go for 300?
Well, you try and stay calm, and the way you do that is you just continuously go over the game plan in your mind, and because you have to stay sharp. You want to stay calm, but you don't want to start getting over anxious, and anxiety can take you completely out of a rhythm. You could go out and start, be way too fast, That's why you've got to keep the calm to make sure that the rhythm you start the game with is one that is deliberate and one that you have control of. So, I mean, it's very hard to find that blend of calm when you have this big question mark as to when you're going to start. Normally you like to start, and you can time. You can almost suppress that anxiety until you can let it go into the game. And once you start throwing baseballs in the game, then you're in control. But when you're trying to control all that, and you have an open-ended start time, it's really tough.
I'll put it a little clearer, Bip. Decaf.
All right, guys, we hope to hear from you soon, and maybe we'll get at least one of these games in, I don't know, in the ensuing hours. In the meantime, we check out this particular cross-section of the all-time wins list. Tom Glavine, by the way, released yesterday by the Braves. He's stuck on 305. You see Bobby Matthews, 297. That's tough to get so close and not get those last 3 wins. Randy Johnson will have no such problems. He'll get there. It's just a question of whether he gets there today. And we now head back to the nation's capital, where we find Henry Schulman, who, of course, covers the Giants for the San Francisco Chronicle. Henry, what can you tell us about Johnson's preparations and how he has managed to, I don't know, stay busy, stay engaged both last night and now into today?
He's become the best card player on the team, I think. I mean, there's really not much you can do. You just have to sit there and maybe hop on a bicycle to keep your legs loose. I understand he was playing cards and just watching a ball game on TV. It's more of the mental grind than the physical grind, having to wade through something like this. And as we understand it, he was fine through most of the night, but he got a little bit edgy when it was 10:30, quarter to 11, and they were still saying, "Hey, we're going to play." And I think he realized then that. He wasn't going to throw his first pitch till 11:30, if at all, and then he got a little bit edgy after that.
We've seen Bruce Bochy play some tricks with weather-delayed games. He brought Tim Lincecum out of his start and instead brought him out of the bullpen once because he didn't want him to only go 2 innings. Has there been any discussion about contingencies, anything sort of outside the box with regard to Johnson today?
Well, no. I mean, he did that with Lincecum because it was his first start of the year, and Lincecum was a kid. I don't think he's going to do anything like that with Johnson. I was kind of joking with Bochy that maybe what he should do is if Johnson goes out there and has a no decision today after 3 innings or whatever and it rains, they can just bring him in relief tomorrow in the 8th inning of a 4-4 game, have him pitch to 3 batters and get 300 that way. But Randy is an experienced player. As Bruce says, he knows his body as well as anybody, especially a guy who's been in the majors for 22 years. And he's just going to go by what Randy says. And I don't think they have the luxury of playing that let's outguess the weather game today like they did in that first start of the year last year with Lincecum.
Well, you mentioned card playing, and I know that's a part of these rain delay scenarios, but we're talking 4 hours last night, could be as many as 3, 4, 5 hours today. Any other good stories from the clubhouse there? Guys, somehow keeping occupied?
Well, Randy Wynn said that there was a lot of quote-unquote creative eating in the clubhouse last night. I mean, you got to somehow keep your strength up and eat, but you don't want to eat too much. We asked Randy who the biggest spread crusher was, and he said it was Nate Shearholtz, and sure enough, as Nate walked out last night after the game was over, he had a bag with even more food in it. So, I mean, that's actually he's joking, but it's actually a key thing. I mean, how do you eat enough to stay strong but not overeat so that when you go out there, you're just plodding along?
All right. Well, I'm sure you're just the man to help them figure that out, and we'll get back to you later in the day, hopefully playing baseball, and if not, keep busy out there, huh?
Okay, I'm getting tired of looking at the same people in the press box, too.
All right, Henry, we appreciate it. Creative eating. All right, well, hey, who's the best pitcher ever to suit up for the Giants? This is a tough poll question now. I mean, Warren Spahn, who I think pitched for him for about, 5 minutes in the mid-'60s, but, Marichal, Perry, Johnson, Steve Carlton, again, known more as a Philly. I don't know. Any thoughts here, Biff?
Well, I'm glad I don't have to pick this because that's a very tough question to answer. And if you pick the wrong guy, I'm sure you'll get an email saying, hey, how come you didn't pick my guy? Because anyone, you can pick anyone on that list right there, and you pretty much have the right answer.
I'm not sure Spawn's on email, so you're good there.
That's good.
CSNBayArea.com. Let us know what you think. Coming up, we will continue to profile this march toward history for Randy Johnson as comparing him to some of the other great lefties who have taken the mound. And who might be next? Will anybody be next? How about a guy like Tim Lincecum? Be a lot of years coming for him to get to 300. We'll discuss the possibilities, and keep you posted on the weather as we get set for maybe baseball.
Away, come again another day. Daddy wants to play. Rain, rain.
300 victories or 300 inches of water over the last 2 days. You make the call. Giants and Nationals hoping to play 2, with Randy Johnson hoping to take the baseball in Game 1, weather permitting. We now bring in Giants president Larry Baer from Washington, D.C. And Larry, what can you tell us about the field conditions there and also the plan for baseball this afternoon and this evening?
Hi, Scott. We'll see. I've learned the hard way never to predict things. But I do think that every effort's going to be made to get it in. And the rain, in and around game time is nothing like it was last night, where it was, much heavier. So, we're cautiously optimistic, as they say, that we can start the game on time and get at least the first game in. The forecasts here are for it to get worse as the night goes on. And so we're hopeful that we can get the game in, at least number 1, maybe number 2 as well. And we're all looking forward to see Randy Johnson pitch. He is anxious.
We were speculating last night about what might happen if there were 2 games today, and we all figured Randy would probably pitch the nightcap. As it stands, he's scheduled to pitch Game 1. What went into that decision? Was it up to Randy?
Randy had input in that decision, and it was really, Scott, there were 2 possibilities. One is we would have played a split doubleheader. We have a game at, say 1 o'clock and a game at 7 o'clock, or a conventional doubleheader, which is what we're doing at 4:30. And the issue there was, after what Randy went through last night, it would have been, pretty cruel to put him through that again and say you're playing Game 2 whenever Game 1 finishes, especially if Game 1 had rain delays. And Randy was, really anxious to get out there and pitch in a good way. I mean, he was toward the end of last night, he was getting a little impatient, and so why put him through that again? So he expressed a preference to pitch in Game 1, and certainly Bruce Bochy and the staff concurred. So that's why.
I know, weather permitting, this could be a very proud day for the franchise. What does it mean for Randy Johnson to accomplish this milestone wearing a Giants uniform?
It's a proud day for the Giants franchise, but we also want to be respectful and realistic. He's 295 of the 300 wins, when he gets 300, would have been accomplished with other clubs. So we're proud that he's a Giant. He's added a lot to the team, both in his performance and the way he's conducted himself around the young pitchers, around our young players. So that's important. We're proud to have him as a Giant. We're proud that he's come back to his roots, where he grew up, to play this season and perhaps more seasons. And so it's a big deal for the organization, and it's going to be even a bigger deal if he can keep pushing on, even beyond the number 300.
Well, hopefully he can achieve that milestone for us sometime today, and no rain dances out there, all right? We want to get this thing in.
We want to, Scott, and obviously you get in a situation, since this is the last time in Washington, that if you can get both in, it would be a huge benefit, because if the Giants can get, a situation where we don't have to do makeup days, that can really wreak havoc later in September, or have to play, at the very end of the season. You want to be able to get yourself in a position as you get into September where you can have your pitching staff set up well, and hopefully a stretch run that'll be meaningful for us this year.
All right, well, we hope it works out for everybody, and Larry, we appreciate your time with us on Pregame Live.
Thanks a lot, and look forward to a good long day of baseball on CSN.
I think long being the operative word. Now, with Randy, it's not just about quantity, it's about quality. He will place 5th on the all-time list of top winning percentage among 300-game winners. So, he's not just getting a lot of wins and a lot of losses, Biff. He's getting those decisions in his favor.
Well, you see his name up there in the top 5, so that tells you that, with this number 300, when you start considering who's the best lefties, his name is going to be at the top, if not 1, 2, or 3.
No question. All right, time now for our Just for Men hair color stay in the game hold statistic. And look at Jeremy Affeldt. Now he's tied for the league lead. He's moving every time we do this. He's moving up the charts.
That's good for the Giants.
It's good for the Giants bullpen. Certainly got to have that bridge to the ninth and Brian Wilson. And hey, just as these middle relievers keep their team in the game, you can too stay in the game with Justin Forman hair color. We hope to begin the game before we can stay in it. Randy Johnson hoping to take the baseball and continue his trek among historical left-handers. Glavine, Carlton, Koufax, as it continues to rain in the nation's capital. And, well, Dave Brighetti's been through this a time or two. So sit back, enjoy the tunage. I know Bip will. We'll be back after this.
Today, one of baseball's most prolific pitchers could reach another milestone. Only 5 lefties in the history of baseball have won 300 games. A number so significant, it is a ticket to Cooperstown and baseball's Hall of Fame. The 300 Club is so exclusive, only 23 members belong. Randy Johnson's career began 22 seasons ago, and through it all, one milestone remains, 300. So stay tuned. History could be made next. It's a rainy afternoon here in Washington, D.C., but it looks like we're going to have baseball as we come to you from Nationals Park. Game 2 of this 3-game series, Nationals and Giants. Randy Johnson going for win number 300. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, we don't know how long this game is going to go. We're assuming it's going to start when they tell us is in about 10 minutes. So, you know, everything is kind of like mysterious, but we do know this. Once it gets started, we're going to see the big unit, and he's going to try to get 300.
Well, think back 21 years ago, he made his major league debut with the Montreal Expos. Significant. Well, the Montreal Expos are now the Washington Nationals. He's going to try and win number 300 against the organization that he came into the big leagues with. It has not been an easy ride for him the last couple of days simply because of the rain and the anxiety and the anticipation. Well, hopefully today we are finally going to cross that barrier and he is going to get the ball and he'll have a chance to indeed put himself in that select group of 6 left-handers who have won 300 or more games in this great game.
All right, Randy Johnson going for the big number 300. All right, we're at Nationals Park, and we'll have more baseball right after this.
Giants baseball is brought to you by Corona. Kick back and relax with an ice cold Corona and lime. Relax responsibly. And by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Back here at the ballpark, both teams starting to get loose, and we are getting ready for baseball here in Washington, D.C. Well, it's time to bring you up to speed with AT&T Rapid Rewind. And we're going to go back to Randy Johnson's last start against the Nationals on May 11th, 2009. And Randy Johnson, his 3rd win of the season. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, and 9 very impressive strikeouts. As you could see, the 9 strikeouts right there, just mowing them down. And Randy Johnson with the win on May 11th, 2009. As you see Johnson getting loose down in the bullpen, and that was his line. 8 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. He left with after throwing 84 pitches. Today is going for number 300 in his career. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. We'll be back. Randy Johnson getting loose down in the Giants bullpen, which is located in left center field here at Nationals Park. As we're waiting, the umpires are out, so we're just waiting now for the Nationals to take the field, and I think they're just waiting for the grounds crew to take a hike. Our game time weather is brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. The temperature is 61 degrees. Winds very light. Humidity very high. And the forecast, I don't want to talk about it.
It's true. I don't want to talk about it. There's rain everywhere.
We're very sensitive about this.
However, we do have a window, and we're going to play ball right now.
Well, there's nothing more miserable than asking a starting pitcher to go through what both of these pitchers have gone through since they got to the ballpark yesterday. I mean, you start to mentally prepare yourself to the first pitch you're going to throw, and that's going to be a little after 7, and then you don't throw it at all, and then you sleep on it again. And you've always said it is a game of routine, and this has not been routine by any stretch of the imagination.
But if there's an advantage in this game, I have to believe that it's for the Giants here with Randy Johnson, who in his 21st year at the big league level has done this many times before. His opponent tonight, Jordan Zimmermann, is a 23-year-old rook, and he has not done this a whole lot. So familiarity is always an advantage, and I would have to say that Randy Johnson has a slight edge in trying to deal with this rain.
Somehow fireworks in the rain doesn't do a whole lot for me, but the fact that the Nationals have taken the field, that does a lot for me. And let's take a look at the Giants lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Rowan, who currently with a 12-game hitting streak, and during that streak he's hitting over 400. Renteria second, then Wynn. Benji Molina, who is in a slump, is the cleanup hitter. Then Lewis Ishikawa in the lineup. Uribe 7th, Burris 8th, and the big unit 9th.
What do you say we check out the defense for the Washington Nationals? They'll set it up this way with Dunn, Dukes, and Kearns. That's your outfield. Zimmerman and Gonzalez on the left side of the infield. Belliard and Johnson on the right side. And Nieves will do the catching. And the gentleman he'll be putting the fingers down for is Jordan Zimmermann, making his 9th start, 2-2, with a 6.07 ERA. Giants saw him earlier in May in that inning. In that outing, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 runs, struck out 8. And they were impressed with his stuff. He had a mid to high 90s fastball, 4 pitches, curveball, slider, and changeup, but a very, very good curveball. And you see he can throw strikes. 47 strikeouts in 46 innings, and about a 3-to-1 strikeout walk ratio, which is excellent. Zimmerman, 23 years old, 6'2", 220-pounder. As you see the big unit, Randy Johnson coming across the field after having taken his warm-up throws. He finally is ready to go and pitch in a big league baseball game.
Well, when the Giants played on Tuesday night, Aaron Rowan led the game off with a big fly. And for Rowan, that was his 6th home run of the year and his 2nd leadoff home run this season. He's only been leading off for a couple of weeks. And the fact that he is on a hot streak does coincide with him batting first in the lineup. Here's the first pitch of the ball game, and a swing and a miss. So we get underway. 5:12 first pitch here on a late Thursday afternoon. And Zimmerman now deals to Rowan, and Rowan takes high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Zimmerman works right in the middle of the rubber, slightly to the right side, I guess. But I always thought that was a pretty good idea to work towards the middle, because if you had to make an adjustment, you could go left or right. So many times you see guys, they exaggerate where they put their foot. They'll get way to the third base side, way to the first base side.
Out of play.
If you get way to one side of the rubber, I mean, you really can't make an adjustment during the course of a ball game if your release point is off.
Jordan, who likes to work very fast. And Rowan fouls it out of play. This is also a game where managers will manage this one different. They will manage, at least at the beginning, like this is going to be a 5-inning game.
That's how you have to do it. Try and put some runs on the board early.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Renteria to follow. And then Randy Wynn. Rowan fights off another fastball, and it stays 2-2.
If you're at the ballpark right now, you got a great chance of getting a foul ball. Not a lot of fans here in attendance because of the problems with the weather. This guy, however, gamer. Got his glove, good fold in his hat, got his baggie strapped on his bod. He's good to go.
Got him.
Front door slider.
So that's how this game gets started. Rowan gets caught looking.
Set up in the outside corner. This thing either backs up or comes in the front side of the plate. And Rowan freezes. Costs him an at bat. It's better than being good right there, though.
Renteria hitting .245, a couple of home runs, 23 driven in. And he fights the first one off and hits it out of play. Randy Johnson waiting patiently. He's been waiting since yesterday.
Now we're going to find out just who the good mutters are today. Last night, about almost 2 inches of rain dumped on this field. There was a lot of standing water. We have not seen any of the standing water today, but it is still very wet conditions in the outfield and the infield.
Renteria down looking.
95-mile-an-hour fastball that has a little movement that comes back to the plate. Hits Will Nieves, the catcher, right between the knees. Great pitch. Tim Timmons, the plate umpire. I mean, he's a good umpire. He likes the low strike. He will give you some width, but you have to earn those wide strikes by letting him know that you can have control of your pitches. Has a pretty consistent strike zone. Good ball's a strike guy.
Here's Giants right fielder Randy Wynn. 283, a couple of home runs, 21 driven in. It's 2 for 3 lifetime against Zimmerman with a double. And Randy Wynn got jammed as he fouls that one straight back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Benji Molina is on deck.
Jordan Zimmerman is not wasting any time. You mentioned he likes to work a quick pace, but right now, I mean, he can't get up that mound fast enough.
Three and 1.
You like playing behind guys like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to waste a whole lot of time trying to get set after each pitch. 3-2.
Excellent 3-1 pitch. The two-seam fastball grip, movement running away from the left-handed hitter, plants it right at the knees outside corner.
Foul down the left field line. And a souvenir. Guy tried to make a one-handed catch, and it cost him. Randy Wynn went 3 for 5 on Tuesday. On the ground to Nick Johnson. Johnson flips to Zimmerman, and that'll end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Jordan Zimmerman. Randy Johnson coming out. 0-0. No score as we head to the home half of the first inning here in Washington, D.C. as Randy Johnson with his warm-up pitches. Here's the Nationals lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Gonzalez, Johnson, Zimmerman, and then Adam Dunn, who's not done that well against the big unit. 7 strikeouts in 12 at-bats. Elijah Dukes will hit 5th, and it's Kearns, Belliard, Nieves, and Zimmerman.
All right, what do you say we take a look at the Giants defensively behind the big unit? It'll be Lewis, Rowan, and Wynn. That's your outfield. On the left side of the infield, Renteria and Uribe. Burris Ishikawa will patrol the right side of the infield, and Benji Molina, well, he'll be in the squad, putting down the fingers for the gentleman on the hill, Randy Johnson.
First pitch to Gonzalez is a called strike. Gonzalez hitting .291 with a home run, 7 driven in. He's never faced Randy Johnson before.
Numbers for Randy Johnson, making his 11th start this year. 4-4 with a 5.71 ERA with 54 strikeouts against 19 walks. He'll 4 and 2-seam the fastball, and bread and butter has always been that great slider. And he'll give you an indication of how he's going to do that night just by looking at the slider and whether or not it's got tilt on it. If it runs flat, he usually struggles. If it's got downward bite to it, he's going to have a good night. His fastball go anywhere from 90 to 94 miles per hour, more 90s than 94s. And he'll also throw a split finger fastball on occasion. 45 years old, 6'10", 225 pounder.
Off his fist on the ground to Renteria. 1 out.
That sounded like it felt good.
You know, I was watching the first pitch Randy Johnson threw. He was really pleased with it. And then either the league or the Nationals, they threw the ball out. And I don't think he was that thrilled about it.
He brought that one in from the bullpen. Had a couple of nice little scuffs in it.
Yeah, felt pretty good with that ball, and now they're going to toss it out and put it somewhere. Here's Nick Johnson, who takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
That's good tilt on that slider.
328 for Johnson, 4 home runs, 26 driven in, 1 for 5 lifetime against Randy Johnson. 2-0.
A high sidearm, low 3/4 release. The key for him is to have high hand position so that he can get his hand behind the ball and give that breaking ball or fastball some drive.
Rowan dives and makes the catch. Nice play, Aaron Rowan. 2 down here in the first inning.
Well, he almost got handcuffed by this ball in center field. Just the ball slicing away from him, going down, and does a backhander. And I mean, you're talking about a complete backhander. He really had to turn that ball in to snag it. Nice play.
Very nice play. Here's Zimmerman. Zimmerman hitting .322, 11 home runs, 37 runs batted in. If you look at these Nationals averages, they're all pretty good. And they all very productive as well, as that's hit up the middle. And Emmanuel Burris from behind the bag, and the inning is over.
Hit his hand.
Johnson looking at his hand as he comes off. Nothing. Here it's 0-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. Benji Molina will lead things off. Zimmerman, a very nice first inning. And Molina looks at a strike. 0 for 5 on Tuesday for Benji Molina. Fouls this one out of play.
Giants need to get Benji Molina going. He has been in a big league scuffle. He's lost about 80 points on his batting average.
Nick Johnson will watch this one sail into the seats. This is the ground ball that just caught a finger or two, as Mike noticed.
Comebacker, it hit him, looked like in the bottom 2 fingers of his left hand. But a tip, if you get hit in the hand and the fingertips, you walk off, grab your glove. It'll take some of the sting out of your hand. And he does indeed do that, an old trick. But as he got back in the dugout, Dave Gresham, the Giants trainer, came over to check it out, and he didn't seem to have any ill effects. But as I mentioned, it looked to me like it was his ring finger, little finger. And that's not as bad as the forefinger and middle finger.
And Benji Molina out swinging, 1 out here in the second inning.
Right now, Jordan Zimmerman is on fire. 4 up, 4 down, 3 strikeouts. And he is hitting some knee-high location with great consistency and great velocity. See Nieves tap the ground, and I mean, that is a perfect pitch. Knee-high at 95.
Here's Fred Lewis.
When the guy's throwing 95-mile-an-hour darts at you, it's a rough night. You don't even need to throw another pitch, and he hasn't thrown many other than the fastball.
Lewis hitting .275 with 3 home runs, 8 driven in. Travis Ishikawa to follow. Lewis went 1 for 4 Tuesday night. Hits the inside corner. Now it's 2-2. Another dart. Ishikawa, Travis Ishikawa to follow. And Lewis fights this off to see another pitch.
Well, that's the thing the Nationals like about this guy. He's got the high velocity fastball with some movement that he understands. He can four-seam and two-seam the ball, and he's got a very compact motion.
Lewis shoots it into left field. That's a base hit. Lewis with a wide turn, and now he gets halfway and puts on the brakes and scurries back.
Love to see that big turn. Gets the ball up just a little bit and out over the plate. They wanted the target middle in, and it went out over the plate. And Lewis, who's a good opposite field hitter with the high fastball, throws a little first base hit out to left center. But I tell you what, when he ran at first base, he was sniffing maybe a chance to get to 2. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Here's Ishikawa. Outside, Travis Ishikawa had a pretty good homestand where he upped his average to 262. Also on that homestand, hit his first home run of the year. And he's got 15 runs batted in. Played against Zimmerman when the Nationals were in town, and he went 2 for 3. Outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lewis with speed. He does not go, and Ishikawa fouls it out of play. Fred Lewis right now fast, but maybe not base stealing fast.
First changeup that we've seen Zimmerman throw. It was a good one.
Lewis with 4 stolen bases this year. He's been thrown out 3 times. 1-2 to Travis Ishikawa.
Well, I think that's where Fred Lewis is going to get better. As the more he plays, the more his jump in the outfield and on the base pass will improve.
And Lewis goes, and look out. It's rifled right over the Giants dugout.
We'll watch the feet in super slow-mo as he lifts the right foot up, pushes off with the left. Stay on your toes when you're running. And now put on the brakes with the foul ball.
One and 2 to Ishikawa. And Ishikawa fights another one off.
I tell you right now, Zimmerman is just pounding the corners.
Last pitch was at 93, according to the readings on the radar gun here at the ballpark. And another 1-2 pitch. And this is hit on the ground, a fair ball right over the bag, and Lewis is on the move. It hits that short sidewall, and now Freddie Lewis turned his ankle as he rounded the bag as he limps back into third. Tim Flannery did a late throw up of the hands.
Little breaking ball that hangs out there mid-thigh, and Travis Ishikawa with a 2-strike swing rakes it past Nick Johnson. Actually, he did get a piece of it, so it spits off his glove. And Fred Lewis, as he rounds the bag, a little bit of a slip right there with his left foot. You can get an idea just how wet things are here.
Here's Juan Uribe, who did not face Zimmerman when he started against the Giants in San Francisco. Stands in with runners at second and third. And Zimmerman gets the call. It's 0-1.
Well, right now with Zimmerman, you have to guess in or out because he's not making any mistakes out over the middle of the plate. He's carving turkeys.
Ground ball to second or short would give the Giants a run. Top of the second. 0-0. Zimmerman, the high set. And a shot, and it's gloved by Belliard. A run's going to come in, and a nice play by Belliard and an RBI for Juan Uribe. It's 1-0 Giants.
That's the big leagues all the way around. It was a good at bat to get the ball up the middle of the ground from Uribe. Nice play, as you mentioned, from Belliard. And Fred Lewis at third base with a good jump. Going on contact with anything up the middle. Belliard never even thought about home. Takes the one out.
Here's Emmanuel Burris. Kid playing at home, hitting .271. Swing and a miss. No balls and one strike. Burris 1 for 4 on Tuesday. He had 3 balls in the air and was out. Hit 1 ball on the ground and picked up a base hit. Right now he's a little tardy and it's 0-2. These guys have been hitting in the cage now for 2 days. And it almost looks like some of them just realize they're out of the cage.
Yeah, he's got to take the patent donut off right now against Zimmerman because he has been late on both swings.
And he hits this one up the middle for a base hit. Here comes Ishikawa. It's 2-0, and the donut came off the bat.
If you're Manny Acta, the skipper of the Nationals, you're kind of shaking your head. I mean, you wanted to let Zimmerman throw to Burris. He'd been pitching well this game. You got the pitcher on deck, and you're thinking, well, if they can get this out here, we can lead the next inning off with Randy Johnson. And on an 0-2 mistake, that is a T-ball location. Fastball right out over the middle. And Emmanuel Burris does what you're supposed to do with a location mistake. Make the pitcher pay.
Here's Randy Johnson. Johnson is 1 for 15. And it's 0-2. And that ought to do it. So the Giants pick up 2 on 3 hits. They strand 1. We will head to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Giants.
All right, here's our Chevron unsurpassed performance. We go back to May 18, 2004. Randy Johnson on the hill for the Arizona Diamondbacks against the Atlanta Braves. And what did he do that night? He threw a perfect game against the Braves. Only one member of the 300 win club has ever pitched a perfect game, and that would be Cy Young. And that was the last pitch. What better way to end it? That's our Chevron unsurpassed performance.
Here's Adam Dunn, followed by Elijah Dukes, and then Austin Kearns. 2-0 Giants. Dunn hitting .269. He's got 16 big flies. He's got 42 runs batted in. Two balls and no strikes. 1 for 12 against Randy Johnson with 7 strikeouts. But the one thing he'll do is he'll take pitches and he'll work pitchers. He strikes out a lot. He walks a lot. And he hits the ball far a lot. 3-0. There's a strike. Giants with the overshift. Burris is playing in shallow right field.
Notice Randy Johnson, after throwing those pitches, he's kind of squeezing his throwing hand. We'll see if his fingers are still stinging from that little deflection that ended the first inning. It can stay with you for a while.
Three and 2 to Dunn. Got him.
Nice comeback. And the 3-2 slider was great tilt. We look at and talk about the keys for Randy Johnson. It's the slant on this breaking ball. He's got to have downward bite, and that was outstanding. Snappy calls this slider Mr. Snappy. It has been probably one of the best strikeout pitches in the history of the game. And a nice comeback after falling behind 3-0.
Here's Elijah Dukes. Dukes in center field this afternoon. Swings and fouls it back. He's big and he takes a wicked hack.
Yeah, Elijah Dukes does not lack for strong. And there aren't many people in the league that can stay with Adam Dunn in batting practice. This guy can stay with him.
swing and a miss. Now it's 0-2. He's 1 for 3 lifetime against Johnson with a double. Austin Kearns to follow. Fastball is high. 1-2. Nationals won on Tuesday night. That snapped a 6-game losing streak. As Duke shoots this one back and out of play. They are 8-16 at home. However, against the National League West, they're over 500. They're 5-4. Another 1-2 offering to Duke. Outside 2-2.
Try to split.
Get on the ground to Uribe. 2 outs.
It's great to watch an old pitcher prep out his mound before he starts to do his work, and Randy Johnson no exception. He go out there and get his plant foothold just about right, dig it out a little bit. It's tough at times because these mounds are so hard, so compact with clay. But you'll get your spot right.
Here's Austin Kearns. Swing and a miss. Are these the 3 biggest guys in a row in baseball?
In the history of the game.
I don't know the history.
You do not want to fight this Nationals team. I mean, it's true in the booth, too. The fight breaks out here. You got Rob Dibble.
Yeah. Rob Dibble is next door with Bob Carpenter. Yeah, I'm sure you got Carpenter.
Oh, we're going to wrestle.
Kearns strikes out swinging. Second strikeout for Randy Johnson. We played 2, and it's 2-0 Chuckin.
Well, fans, June 15th versus the Angels is Autism Awareness Night. A $20 special event ticket gets you a seat in the special Autism Awareness section and a limited edition Will Clark jersey T-shirt. Proceeds from each ticket sold benefits Autism Speaks and Athletes Against Autism. For tickets, call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events.
Zimmerman to Rowan, and Rowan pops this one up, and it'll be out of play. 2-0 Giants. Rowan struck out looking to lead off the ball game.
Now, you were talking about how difficult it is for a pitcher, a starting pitcher especially, to be able to deal with delays and rain delays. But then you start talking about other bodies in the clubhouse, guys who can be a little hyper.
Zimmerman to Johnson.
And may not handle those long delays too well. Well, Aaron Rowan. You named him, and that was right on the head.
Well, I mean, only because we know his personality. He has to be doing something, and it has to be baseball related. So that means as a hitter, you can't shag fly balls in the clubhouse.
No.
You can't shag him in the cage.
No.
But you can hit. And he's hit for the last 2 days.
Oh, yeah. He'll hit for 4 hours. Not a problem.
Renteria waves at a pitch. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, about 3 weeks ago when Rowan was trying to dig out of his slump, that's how he did it. He would get to the ballpark and literally he would hit for a couple hours a day. We get to the ballpark about 4 o'clock and we'd see him and he was wringing wet coming out of the cage.
Just outside to Renteria, who got caught looking like Rowan in the first.
Aaron Rowan was wearing out some batting practice pitchers. Wearing them out.
High and foul and out of play. It's 2-2. Full count now to Edgar Renteria with Randy Winn to follow. Oh, the coffee guy is always going to be popular in this climate. And he got him for the second time.
Right now, Edgar Renteria is not picking him up. Well, Giants baseball is brought to you by Verizon Wireless, America's largest mobile-to-mobile calling family. Verizon Wireless.
2 outs. Here's Randy Winn. Randy Winn bounced out to Nick Johnson in the first inning. Here he looks at a strike.
Do you like hitting off guys with quick paces?
You know, I like playing behind him, and I like hitting against him. I mean, you could get into a rhythm both ways.
I like pitching against a guy that had a quick rhythm. I mean, you get right back out, and you can definitely feed off each other.
Another ground ball to Nick Johnson, and Randy Winn is 0 for 2, 2 ground balls to the Nationals' first baseman. 2-0 Giants. All right, here's our poll question this afternoon. To vote, log on to csnbayarea.com. Who's the best pitcher ever to suit up for the San Francisco Giants? A couple of guys you may have heard of: Marichal, Perry, Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, Warren Spahn. For exclusive video and blogs, go to csnbayarea.com, and we'll have the poll results after the ball game on Giants Post Game Live. Here's Belliard. Belliard looks at a strike. Hitting 174 with a couple of home runs, 7 driven in. Belliard is the one national player that has the most at-bats against Johnson lifetime. He's got 23. And this is slowly hit to Renteria. Renteria gets rid of it quickly. 2 outs. He'll make that 1 out.
Well, that's how he ranks. 299 wins and ranks him 24th all time. Strikeouts ranked number 2, and I mean, he probably could hang around and get 5,000 possibly this year. That would be a very good year for him. But I mean, 5,714 strikeouts, that's going to hang for a while.
Yep.
Nolan Ryan, wow.
Here's Will Nieves hitting 281 with 9 runs batted in. Nieves hitting in that A slot, and he takes a strike on the inside corner, and it's 0-1. It may be that this afternoon Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire, is looking for strikes.
Well, in a weather situation like this, I think you have to as an umpire.
Slowly hit. Renteria got him. 2 down.
Some nice plays. Let's take a look at our Firestone leaderboard. The 300 Win Club tell the tape. Well, the tallest members: Steve Carlton, Roger Clemens, Gaylord Perry, all 6'4". The shortest: Pud Galvin, Mickey Welch, 5'8". How about that? I didn't know that.
Here's Jordan Zimmerman. 0 for 14 on the season. There's a strike to even the count. 8 up, 8 down for Randy Johnson.
I think Carlton's a little taller than 6'4".
Right back to where it came from. Side retired. That's an 8-pitch inning for Randy Johnson. We will head to the 4th. It remains 2-0 Giants.
Well, members from the 1989 National League pennant winning team will be featured in the afternoon with the 89 Giants on Friday, June 12th. For more information, visit juniorgiants.org or call 1-877-JUNIOR-GIANT. Players will participate in a panel discussion. Candy Maldonado, Will Clark, Kevin Mitchell, Roger Craig. They'll all be there.
Here's Benji Molina, who falls behind 0-1. Molina struck out in the second inning. And it's 0-2. Fred Lewis to follow, and then Travis Ishikawa. Way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, there's a good list of former players coming in from that '89 team, and I'll run down a couple of those this inning. Mike mentioned Will Clark. Roger Craig, the hum baby's going to be here.
Can't wait to see him.
Kelly Downs, Dave Dravecky. The old third base coach, Bill Fahey.
Pooch.
The 2-2 pitch. And it's strike 3 called. And Molina out for the second time. That's 6 strikeouts.
6 strikeouts for Zimmerman. 4 have been called strike threes.
Here's our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Can you name the 3 pitchers to record their 300th career win with the Giants? Fred Lewis got things going for the Giants with a 1-out single in the second. Also, Atlee Hammaker. Mike Lacasse. Candy Maldonado. I'm just not naming them all, just a few. Big Daddy's going to be here.
Well, I can't wait to see Big Daddy. Rick Russell.
Donnie Robinson.
Caveman.
And the get-back coach, Robbie Thompson. He's another one of those guys that I miss.
He was a good Giant, Robbie Thompson. Looking forward to seeing him. All those guys could be fun to see.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lewis up the middle. Gonzalez. 2 outs.
You know, it's funny. You don't talk to those guys for a long time, and then everybody gets back together. It's like you just left each other the day before. The talking is going 200 miles an hour. If you want to talk, you got to raise your hand. And it's just a day or a weekend that just goes by so fast, and the memories are so much fun to relive. Because one guy will tell you something, you'll remember something, and on it goes.
Travis Ishikawa doubled over Nick Johnson's glove in the second inning. I'm sure we'll see Bob Lurie.
I hope we see Bob Lurie.
Bob and Connie Lurie.
Bob and Connie were great owners. A big part of that group. Al Rosen. Al and his wife Rita.
Ishikawa lines it to left. Dunn moving over, and Dunn will put it away. Zimmerman with back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. It's 2-0 Giants. All right, we asked the Aflac trivia question. Now we'll answer it. Can you name 3 pitchers? The 3 pitchers to record their 300th career win with the Giants?
Aflac!
I knew that.
Tim Keefe, Christy Mathewson, and Mickey Welch, who was 5'8". Hydrant, right here. Hydrant.
Here's Gonzalez, who shortens up the bunt, and he takes a strike. Hydrant?
Yeah, Mickey Welch. He's like a second baseman pitching, 5'8". Come on. Joe Morgan height.
Renteria takes his time. 10 up, 10 down.
That's 4 times.
Infielders don't mind the moisture in the dirt. They just don't like the moisture on the grass.
Why's that?
Well, most infielders like the infield to be a little moist anyway. They don't like it dry. You get a much truer hop. It's the the grass, where if you grab a wet baseball, you just never know what it's going to do. But it doesn't appear that that's too much of a problem, at least not for Renteria.
He has picked it clean today. Well, the tarp's been on the diamond here all night long. Last night, the outfield was just a quagmire. There was so much water out there, puddles everywhere, and I mean deep puddles too.
Johnson fouls it back. It was Aaron Rowan who took a hit away from Nick Johnson in that first inning. Foul back. We were talking when Dunn, Dukes, and Kearns were hitting about maybe the biggest three guys back to back to back in baseball. But as we backed it up a little bit, Ryan Zimmerman's pretty good size.
6'3", 230.
And here's Nick Johnson, who's pretty good size.
6'3", 240.
Out of play.
I mean, that's a big baseball team.
So we could just add two more to the list. 5.
Yeah, well, Mickey Welch can't be on that team.
But the Giants have their 6'10" left-hander out on the mound. It's 1-2 to Nick Johnson.
Yeah, the Giants are going to win the jump ball. But after that, I don't know.
As far as moving the ball down the field,
good pitch.
Very close, and Johnson wanted it.
You know, that's a tough pitch for a guy with a low three-quarter release to be able, a left-hander, to be able to plant that inside pitch to a left-handed hitter. But Johnson has made 3 pitches in this at bat to Johnson, and they've all been right there. Those are good pitches.
Three and 2.
Fastball really set that breaking ball up nice. I think he was upset he didn't keep that thing in the strike zone.
Johnson with 2 strikeouts. He struck out Dunn and Kearns in the second. And the first base runner for the Nationals is Nick Johnson.
This is the last night's rain we were talking about, and the area between the clubhouse and the dugout was a pond. Now this is the field. Stan Kasten, the president of the Nationals, out there making a call. But they really left it up to Randy Johnson. I mean, they tried to hang in there as long as they could for Randy Johnson to get his start. They respected that. Not often that an opposing pitcher will have something to say about the start time of a ball game. But the historical significance of this ball game is big. I mean, we don't know if we'll ever see another day like today.
Right.
Where a pitcher tries to win his 300th win.
Johnson out of the stretch for the first time. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman hit one off the fingertips of Randy Johnson. Maybe slowed it down just a little bit. Emmanuel Burris made the play behind the bag at second. And that ended the first inning. No swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-0 Giants. Giants scored a pair of runs in the second.
Next pitch. Zimmerman give him a little disagreement with his body language. He thought that pitch was a little bit low, but from a pitcher's perspective, absolutely perfect. Knee-high pain on the outside corner with a little movement running away from him. Nice frame job from Benji Molina to nail down the strike. Go out there again. Looking for a ground ball here.
Randy Wynn jogging in. He will put it away.
Yeah, you could hear Zimmerman leave the batter's box screaming down as he ran down the first baseline, and he just looked back at plate umpire Tim Timmons. And I'm sure he felt that the umpire made him swing at that pitch. Randy Johnson indeed went right back to the same location. If an umpire is going to give it to you, that's the location you want a hitter to try and have to cover. And Zimmerman not happy as he felt that his umpire cost him that at bat.
Here's Dunn, who struck out in the second.
Hitters. I love it.
Very high as Benji Molina stabbed at that one before it got to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Overshift is on with Burris in shallow right field. Popped him up. It's going to be Travis Ishikawa between home and first, now near the mound, and that ends the inning. Nationals have a base runner. He's stranded. 5th inning coming up.
Nothing as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Jordan Zimmerman now going to take his turn pitching to Juan Uribe. Uribe 0 for 1 on the day.
0 for 1, however, the at bat. He picked up an RBI. Very sharp ground ball to Belliard to knock in Fred Lewis. Here it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Emmanuel Burris to follow. And then Randy Johnson. There's a drive into center field. Dukes drifting back. He will put it away.
Well, the weekend of June 12th through the 14th at AT&T Park, the Giants are going to take on the Oakland A's. And Friday, the June 12th game, that'll be the 16th annual Until There's a Cure Day, presented by Esurance, Gilead, and the Giants Community Fund. The Saturday, June 13th, will be 1989 team reunion presented by Diamond of California. Then Sunday, June 14th, will be AT&T Giants annual food drive. First 5,000 fans who donate food will receive a Giants drink tumbler. You can also donate $5 to qualify for that tumbler. And there's always the Giants A's Wives pregame softball game you can check out. So go to sfgiants.com and check it out.
The 1-0 to Burris, and Burris fouls it out of play. Burris with a 2-out RBI single in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that was a good at bat. 0-2.
Randy Johnson on deck.
.49 pitches through 4 innings for Randy Johnson.
Nice play by Zimmerman.
Time now for our Ford Quality Drive, and for a guy who's been in the big leagues 21 years, here's his only home run. Randy Johnson taking Doug Davis deep in Milwaukee. And we'll make that our Ford Quality Drive. It happened September 19th, 2003. And the big unit has got himself a big fly.
In this game, he struck out in the 2nd inning.
Smile smooth.
Lots of cameras here at the ballpark today.
His son today, an honorary bat boy. Randy brought his whole family here into Washington. He lives just outside of Phoenix, Paradise Valley.
Two balls and a strike. And it's 3-1. Three and 2. Big unit letting out the shaft. 3-1. And strike 3 called to end the inning. 7 strikeouts for Zimmerman. We will now head to the 6th inning. It's an official game.
All right, time for Subway Eat Fresh. Ask Kruk and Kite. Visit ComcastSportsNet.com and ask us a question. We'll answer one game. This is from Hanford from San Mateo. The question, why do some players, mostly pitchers, have one finger outside of their glove?
Mostly pitchers.
Because it hurts to put it inside the glove.
I agree.
You put it outside the glove, you get another piece of leather between you and the ball, because off your forefinger, that's pretty much where you catch the ball in the pocket of your glove every time.
I can't remember seeing a player now that doesn't have his finger outside his glove.
There's a few, but those guys will always have, or usually always have. I guess you can't usually always have something.
This is off play. I knew exactly what you meant.
But if they have their hand inside the glove, they have a batting glove on. That's what I was trying to get.
But even with that, guys with batting gloves on, they still put the finger on. This is Elijah Dukes. And the 0-1. Inside to even the count. Dukes bounced out to Juan Uribe at third. He did that in the 2nd inning. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. It'll be Dukes, Kearns, and Belliard here in the 5th. It was a little early on the conclusion that this was an official game. This is bounced back up the middle, and it'll be a base hit. And the first of the game for the Nationals. A broken bat single past Randy Johnson.
Well, we've seen broken bat home runs this year. I guess you shouldn't be surprised at a broken bat single. One thing about the Maplewood bats, they don't have to be, you can hit a Maplewood bat right in the sweet spot and still break your bat. Now that one got out a little bit towards the end of the bat where you would see bats break like that, traditional white ash bats. But for Randy Johnson, the first hit that he has allowed today, and it's a broken bat single.
And he didn't miss it by much, and I'm sure he's quite disappointed that he didn't get to it. He'll go after Austin Kearns.
Well, he's vertically challenged. I mean, you know, grass cutters are not good plays for him to try and make. That's a long way to stoop.
He likes the high hoppers. Outside, this will be the 3rd hitter that Johnson will face out of the stretch. 1 ball and no strikes. And that pitch a bit high. Now it's 2-0.
Well, how close did he come to making a play on this comebacker? Close. You see the bat winging right by him. I'm not sure he even knew that thing was coming his way.
This one gets away from Benji Molina. And it's 3-0.
That ball really sailed across the plate. It sort of glove-tied Benji Molina. Got to be a pass ball.
That's what it is.
Well, sometimes a fastball will just have a mind of its own, and it will be unpredictable as it will cut and sell. And when they're 90 miles an hour and above, that can be a tough play for a catcher. But they lose the force at first.
Dukes now at second with nobody out. And the walk. Second walk issue. 3rd base runner in the game. And here's Belliard. Belliard bounced out to Renteria in the 3rd.
We've seen Randy Johnson throw as many as 120 pitches in an outing. But I think realistically at 45 years old, I think he's most comfortable right around the 100-pitch level in an outing.
Hit up the middle. Burris, they get one, and they do it! Emmanuel Burris turns the double play.
Well, the Giants players were all talking about it, playing in this game when Randy Johnson's trying to make history. They want to make contribution, and this is a brilliant play. High backhand spear from the glove, a perfect feed to Renteria, who gets it over to Ishikawa. Instead of a base hit, first and third situation, 2-1 ball game, nobody out. They get a double play, and that we want to look at one more time. The defensive brilliance of the young second baseman, Emmanuel Burris. What a play this is. And for Randy Johnson, you talk about a shot in the arm. This type of play will give it to you. Oh, yeah.
That's like saying I want to give you a hug right there.
I love you, man. That's exactly what it's saying.
Nieves bounced out to Renteria.
A man hug.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And there's the reaction. Hey. Oh, you kid. Nice going. Saw Will Nieves trying to tie this ball game up on that 1-0 count.
Ball and 1 strike. Make it 1 and 2.
Well, Emmanuel Burris has really done that since the first game of the season. There was a time when he was really cold with a bat. Goose Bochy, his skipper, said, you know, you just keep playing with that glove. You do what you do, and the bat will keep coming. I'll keep throwing you in there. And he has done it with the glove all year.
On the ground to Burris. And Johnson is going to get out of the inning. And Randy Johnson walks off the mound. His family in attendance. And it's 2-0 Giants.
Well, June 16th is Irish Night. That's right, Irish Heritage Night. Giants taking on the Angels, and a $20 special event ticket's going to get you a seat in the special Irish Heritage section. And an Irish-themed Giants scarf will be yours. Proceeds from ticket sales will benefit Irish-based charities in San Francisco.
Zimmerman has it, does the 360, 1 out.
So don't miss Irish Heritage Night. For tickets, go to sfgiants.com/special events.
Rowan bounces out. Here's Renteria.
So far, Jordan Zimmerman has had Edgar Renteria talking to himself.
He has. He's struck him out twice, both times looking.
And both times the looking strikes were right there.
7 strikeouts for Zimmerman. 5 of them have been looking. Now it's 2-0 with Randy Wynn on deck. It's out of play. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Hey, you know what we have?
What do we have?
An official ball game.
That's right.
I didn't think it was going to be possible
You
today.
waited. I didn't.
The home team was behind. They had to hit in the 5th.
Foul back 2-2.
Oh, wouldn't it be something if we could get both games in tonight? You never know. If you look around the area, believe us, we're here on top of the stadium, so we have a great view of the surrounding area. Not a great view of the ballpark, but a great view of the surrounding area. And it looks like it could just open up any second.
Here's a 2-2 offering to Renteria, and he hits it on the ground to Zimmerman. And Ryan Zimmerman goes on to Johnson. 2 outs. Well, the Capitol building is fogged in. Here's Randy Wynn.
You saw President Chief Operating Officer Larry Baer here in attendance. Wanted to see the historical moment should it happen if Randy Johnson were indeed to be the winning pitcher today.
Randy Wynn has bounced out twice to Nick Johnson. Here he takes a first pitch ball down low. Randy Wynn's average now right at 280. Zimmerman still with that good fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Win. He's trying to control the tempo of the at bat. You've got a young arm out there who's just rocking and firing rapid pace.
Foul territory. Nieves or Zimmerman. It's going to be Zimmerman, and that'll end the inning. So another 1-2-3 inning for Jordan Zimmerman. Nationals are coming up. It'll be Zimmerman to lead things off. Welcome back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. A couple of terrific plays in this game. Aaron Rowan made a play in the first inning. And then the play of the game, Emmanuel Burris with this 4-6-3 double play. And that saved Randy Johnson in the 5th inning. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Here's Anderson Hernandez pinch hitting, and Hernandez looks at a strike. So Zimmerman out of the ball game. Up the middle, Johnson knocks it down. He'll recover, throw off Owens, got him, and a nice play by Travis Ishikawa to hang in there.
Well, we've seen Randy Johnson do this when he'll swat a ball down and recover, and as he gets it, he'll throw off balance and then go right on the ground. You're right. Good wrestling job there from Travis Ishikawa. We're going to watch this in super slow motion as the big unit gets after it. Not an easy play for a guy 6'10" to get unwound, but that's good athleticism and a great play, really, when you consider. A nice pick from Ishikawa at first.
Here's Gonzalez, who looks at a strike, and it's 0-1.
I mean, you see Randy Johnson make a play like that. We've seen him do that about 3-4 times this year. I mean, the guy's having fun playing baseball.
Indeed he is. Inside to even the count at a ball and a strike.
And he's downplayed the 300 win milestone on a number of occasions this year, saying basically, you know, I want to go beyond this. I mean, I want to keep going.
That slider. 1-2.
67 pitches. 1 out here in the 6th. Talked to him about how he prepares for a game. And he really gets a game plan.
Renteria smothers it. Renteria throws it, and it gets away from Ishikawa.
Be interested to see who they give the air to on this. Kind of goes up, and it looked to me like he had good balance and a good grip. Kind of goosed it over there to Ishikawa. The ball went low. I'm sure that's one that Ishikawa thought he probably should have had.
On the left on the aisle is Randy Johnson's wife, Lisa. And then the 3 daughters are all there somewhere: Willow, Alexandria, and Samantha. Tanner, the Johnson's son, is the bat boy today. Nick Johnson takes a strike, and it's 0-1. They've charged Edgar Renteria with the error. Johnson is lined out and he's walked. Down low to even the count at a ball and a strike.
A couple of Northern Californians going at each other. Randy Johnson from Livermore, Nick Johnson from the Sacramento area.
One and two.
What a career this guy's had. And where you rank him as one of the best pitchers in the game or the best pitcher in the game, depending on your argument, you have to agree upon one thing. He's got the greatest game face of all times.
The lefty 300 club.
If Randy Johnson wins this ball game, he will be the 24th pitcher to be in the 300 win club, and he would be just the 6th left-hander to be in that club.
Caused a lot of guys to take days off. Into the alleyway, left center field. This could knock in a run. Lewis picks it up. Johnson's got a double. It's 2-1. So the Nationals get on the board on the RBI double off the bat of Nick Johnson.
That's 2-strike hit at its best. As a hitter, I mean, you want to expand, you want to use the whole field, and this is Nick Johnson, why he's such a good hitter. The ball sails across the plate. They wanted to go inside with the fastball. It goes out away, and he goes with the location, finds a gap, and from a 2-strike perspective, that's a heck of an at-bat. And enables Roberto Gonzalez to score all the way from first, and we got a different ball game right now all of a sudden, and that's taking advantage of an error.
Here's Ryan Zimmerman. He's bounced out, he's flied out, and he takes a pitch just off the plate, 0-1. I'll make it 1-0.
There's a situation now for Randy Johnson with an open base, and really one of the hotter hitters in the league this year. Zimmerman has just been fantastic with the bat. He does not have to pitch him anything but corner pitches, and if you miss off the plate. Do not miss out over the plate.
Renteria adjusted on that bouncing ball because he could see it was going to be an in-between hop. He gets the out at first. Advancing to third is Nick Johnson. And here's Adam Dunn.
Good job there from Randy Johnson. If a hitter's going to hit a pitch, make it a pitch that is in your location, one that favors you. One, if he makes contact, he's in all likelihood going to put it on the ground.
Adam Dunn is struck out and he's popped out. Takes one up and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Bottom of the 6th inning. A run in for the Nationals. We'll watch this one go by foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Big Adam Dunn. Wide open stance. Pops it up. Uribe. He will squeeze it. And Johnson limits the damage. It's 2-1 Giants.
Well, Saturday, June 13th at AT&T Park, the Giants and the A's are going to tee it off at 7:05, and be sure to come out early as the Giants honor the '89 team during a pregame ceremony starting at 6:30. That's right, the National League champion 1989 team featuring Will Clark, Robbie Thompson, Kevin Mitchell, Dave Dravecky, and of course the hum baby Roger Craig will be there as well. Don't miss seeing some of your favorite Giants from the past, presented by Diamond of California. Go to sfgiants.com for your tickets.
Ron Vallone will be facing Bengie Molina in a 2-1 ball game. And Molina pops this one up. And I think Nick Johnson's got to play. And on one pitch, Molina is retired. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
The numbers for Ron Vallone: 17th time he's taken the ball, having a good season for Manny Acta, 3-0. Just 14 base runners in 14 2/3 innings. That is excellent. Oh, a much different pitcher now than when he first came into the big leagues.
He went an inning and 2/3 on Tuesday. And they were perfect innings with a couple of strikeouts. Not given up an earned run this year. Lewis holds up to even the count. Brendan Metters in the Giants pen. Johnson on the backhand. Nice play, 2 down.
Boy, indeed, you want to talk about some soft hands. I mean, when a ball comes up on a guy and it comes up to his backhand side and he stays with it, those are sweet hands. And this is exactly what this ball does. A two-hop top spinner right to his backhand side, and he stays with it. I mean, that's a nasty ground ball right there.
Here's Travis Ishikawa.
Sweet hands, Nick Johnson.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Metters is getting loose in the bullpen like he's coming in. One ball and 1 strike. Low to Ishikawa. A double for Travis Ishikawa in the second.
Talking about Vallone being a different guy. 4-pitch pitcher now. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. When he first came up, he was mid to high 90s with the fastball, but much wilder with his control than he is now. Now he can pretty much throw some darts, and he is off to a great start.
2-2. Travis Ishikawa trying to get something going after 2 outs. And it will not happen, and that ends the inning. It remains 2-1 Giants.
Giants baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By Chevron with Techron. No other gasoline has more cleaning power. And by Comcast HD, with more HD than anyone, period.
Here in the nation's capital, we've got Giants fans that are hooping and hollering here in the 7th inning. Is that George?
No. There's Abe and Teddy. 2-1 Giants here in the bottom of the 7th.
What's that guy doing?
I don't even want to think about that.
Here's Brendan Metters facing Elijah Dukes. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
And the numbers for Brendan Metters: 23rd time he has come into a game 2-1 and 2.78 ERA. He has been fantastic. 20 strikeouts in 22 and 2/3 innings.
Right there at the knees to even the count.
Fastball, cutter, split, curveball. I mean, he can mix it up, and he has been a strike throwing machine.
Big breaking ball and a beauty.
That's a pitch that has been such a great weapon for him to steal strikes early in the count. He doesn't usually use that pitch to finish off a hitter, although he will at times. But he will use it to get a strike one. First pitch of an at bat. You saw it there, a 1-1, where guys see that great big thing, they give up on it. It just locks them up.
Fouls this one back.
And he can take some speeds off that big curveball too. Going that fastball right behind it, and immediately Benjamin Molina wants to talk to him about it. And I think the message was, yo, El Dude, it's a 1-2 count. You need to be a little more fine with your control on that fastball. That was right over the middle of the plate.
It's starting to rain a little bit again. Got him.
Curveball. And for a relief pitcher, the first strike you get, the first out you get are very soothing. And here's the payout pitch. They set up away. It's a straight downer on the inside part of the plate. Duke's unhappy at himself, and he takes a U-turn, grabs some pine meat.
Here's Kearns, a strikeout and a walk. And on a high fastball, Kearns fouls it back, kind of a half swing from Austin Kearns.
It's rare to see him get cheated on a swing. I mean, that looked like a tennis backhand more than an Austin Kearns swing. He usually lets it go. Very strong. Right now, it's not much fun for anybody. And I always thought the hardest thing about playing in the rain as a hitter was just listening to the raindrops hit your helmet.
Right on the corner to make it 1-2.
For a pitcher, the only worry you have really is footing. That mound out there, which is mostly clay, starts to slip on you. Good pitch.
2 down.
Now he's got that curveball working today. He's using it for a kill pitch, and he has spun 2 buttes, 1 to Dukes and here to Kearns. And the big fella cannot check his swing.
Here's Belliard. And a high fastball. Belliard looked like he was going to come up with a base hit in the 5th inning, only to have Emmanuel Burris pull off a terrific play. Burris started a 4-6-3 double play. Burris through the raindrops puts it away, and Metters with a very nice 7th inning. We will head to the 8th. Giants looking for some insurance. It's 2-1 San Francisco. Here's our McDonald's game summary. The Giants hanging on. They got a 2-1 lead. Randy Johnson wins 6 innings, allowed a couple of hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Uribe and Burris both with RBIs. Zimmerman was outstanding. He allowed a couple of runs. He allowed them in the 2nd inning. And Nick Johnson's got the RBI, an RBI double. He did that in the 6th inning after Edgar Renteria was charged with an error. That's our McDonald's game summary. Umpires got together in between innings, as you see Mike McDougall with his warm-up pitches.
Now McDougall played with the Kansas City Royals. Just got called up from Syracuse. Down in Syracuse, he was a bullpenner, had a couple of saves, 3.24 ERA in 8 appearances. And from what we remember with McDougall, I mean, he had some pretty good sink on his fastball, and you run it up there pretty good.
Here's Uribe. I remember right, he was a closer for a while.
94-mile-an-hour sink. Yeah, we saw him in Kansas City. He had like mid-90s sink, which is kind of rare in itself. A little slider to go with it. I don't remember if he had a changeup or a split. We'll find out. But I think it's impossible for him to throw the ball straight.
Just outside Uribe. Burris to follow, and then Brandon Metters, after he threw the ball so well in the 7th, it may be that Metters is going to be allowed to hit here in the 8th. Swinging a little pop-up foul down the right field line and out of play. Uribe with an RBI and a sharp ground ball to Belliard in the 2nd inning. Rain starting to come down a little harder. Uribe pops it up. It'll be Nick Johnson. Johnson puts it away. 1 out.
McDougal's no puppy. I mean, he's been around for a while. He's 32 years old. He's got a little over 5 years of big league experience. This is his 11th year of professional baseball.
Here's Emmanuel Burris. So far, nobody has come out to the on-deck circle for the Giants. On the ground to second. And Belliard will make the play. 2 outs. And it is indeed going to be Brandon Metters. It may have been that had the Giants had a base runner or somebody in scoring position that Bruce Bochy would have then used a pinch hitter, but with 2 outs and nobody on, he lets Metters hit. Look out.
I'm sure Metters enjoyed that. First at bat you get to take this year, and somebody's going to throw a 95-mile-an-hour snake that curls right up around your dome. Hey, B, good to see you again. How you been? A little bail on that last one.
Right. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, watch his left foot here on every swing. I don't think he wants any part of this guy. This is not a fun at bat. McDougal he can do that. I mean, he's 6'4", about 190 pounds, and every once in a while he'll let one go, and it does this. It heat seeks right into a right-hander, and that is an ugly swing.
Metters says, I'm getting out of here, and that ends the inning.
That was unfair.
Bottom of the 8th coming up. It stays 2-1 Giants. Coming up tonight at 10:30 on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area, Sportsnet Central, hosted by Dave Benz and Damon Andrews. Of course, they'll wrap up today's action between the Giants and the Nationals. They'll also have highlights of the A's and White Sox and the NBA Finals Game 1. All of that's going to happen tonight at 10:30 on Sportsnet Central. We got a whole bunch of Nationals grounds crew out on the infield as they are working to dry up the infield.
Anytime you can look down on the infield and see that it is shining, you know that it's wet. So they go get the Turfus or the topical mixture they have and try to absorb some of that moisture. Now, you pointed out something earlier. Infielders like a damp infield.
They do.
But you don't like damp grass.
No. Not unless you have 4 infielders that resemble Gaylord Perry.
The defense today, however, has been spectacular. Aaron Rowan putting on a great catch early against Nick Johnson, but this was the play of the game. Ronnie Belliard hitting a seed up the middle that and Burris gets, and then here Randy Johnson staying with a little comebacker that he deflects. So the Giants have had 1 miscue, and it cost them a run, and there by Edgar Renteria in the 6th, but for the most part their defense has been sparkling.
Here's Nieves facing Metters, and Nieves with a big swing and a foul back, and it's 0-1.
First pitch cutter from Metters. Good pitch. They know Nieves likes that first pitch. Take advantage of it. Start that cutter on the outside part of the plate. Let it go off the plate away, and he will follow you.
Christian Guzman is on deck. That's the pitcher spot. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants scored 2 runs in the second. They have 3 hits in this game, and they all came in the second inning. They have not had a base runner since the second. Driven into right center field. That'll be a base hit.
Randy Johnson's outing today, 6 strong innings, 2 hits allowed. He did not give with the first hit until the 5th inning. 1 run allowed. It was unearned. He walked 2 against a pair of strikeouts on the day. He's just 78 pitches. He left the ball game with a 2-1 lead after 6.
Bruce Bochy's coming out. He's going to take the baseball. Change tune-up and smog experts. Affel coming in. We'll be back. 2-1 ball game here in the 8th inning. The Nationals with their leadoff hitter on, Will Nieves, and Jeremy Affel now comes in to the ball game with these numbers.
There you see the workload that he has had for the Giants this year. 20th time he's taken the ball, 23 in the 3rd innings. He has been used as a specialist in occasions, but really has been very consistent with tremendous stuff. A mid-90s fastball and just a disappearing curveball has been his forte. You see the numbers, it's been all good. He is going to try and come in here and pour some water on this Washington Nationals team.
Guzman is a switch hitter, so he will spin around now and bat right-handed.
Guzman, a free swinger. Tough guy to walk.
First pitch, right center field. Aaron Rowan will put it away.
As I mentioned, you come out of the bullpen, you get that first strike, that first out, all of a sudden everything calms down. It's amazing what that pitch and that out will do for a relief pitcher. And when you get them on one pitch, the both of them, it's a gift.
Here's Gonzalez, reached on an error in the 6th inning. 0 for 3. Each team with 3 hits. Down low, 1-0. Nieves led the inning off with a base hit. He takes his lead with Ishikawa holding him tight. And there's a bouncing ball with a runner on the move. The only play will be at first. 2 outs. And Nieves down to second. Nieves got a very bad jump, but it may have been a hit and run. And on a hit and run, you shouldn't get a very good jump.
Well, you want to make sure that pitcher goes home. That's why you don't get a great jump. The only out for Edgar Renteria is the out at first base.
So here's Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson has the RBI in this game for the Nationals when he doubled in the 6th inning. Nice play by Benji Molina. 1 ball and no strikes.
Tried to crowd him all day long with Randy Johnson on that inside corner.
2-0.
They're trying to go back in there the same way with Affeldt.
Affeldt realizes that he doesn't have to come in. He does have a base to work with. Zimmerman is on deck. And he comes in. It's 2-1.
Well, I mean, with Zimmerman on deck, Nick Johnson should get some pretty good pitches to hit. You would think the lefty-lefty matchup is one that would favor Affeldt. However, this year the lefties have been a bit problematic for him. Lefties hit .333 off him this year.
3-1. Affeldt saving that breaking ball. Now he falls behind. 3 balls and 1 strike. Wilson is up in the Giants bullpen.
One of the things we really haven't been able to explain why the lefties hit better against Affeldt with a great breaking ball that breaks hard away from the lefty. Lefties hit .333. Righties just .180 against Affeldt. That does not make sense.
Swing and a miss. 3-2.
A 3-1 challenge, looking fastball. Johnson was hacking no matter what. And he may have helped Affeldt out. A fastball that sinks right below the zone, and Johnson swings right over the top. And they go right back in there again with a fastball, or he can throw the curveball. He has no fear on a 3-2 pitch throwing that curveball.
And the 1.
Pretty good take right there, folks.
Here comes Bruce Bochy. It's going to be a Wilson-Zimmerman matchup. As Affeldt's going to depart when it's time for a change. Think Speedy oil change and tune-up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. We will be back. Two runs, 3 hits, and an error for the Giants. A run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Nationals. Affeldt will watch the rest of this inning as Brian Wilson comes in with those numbers.
23 strikeouts in 24 innings with Wilson. It's going to be a mid to upper 90s fastball and a cutter. He'll also throw a curveball on occasion, and he's starting to throw more 2-seam fastballs, which has become a pretty good pitch for him.
Giants bullpen trying to save this one for Randy Johnson. In a low-scoring game with Zimmerman at the plate and the tying run at second base. First pitch to Zimmerman is a bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Zimmerman has bounced out twice and he's flied out. Two balls and no strikes.
And that's the pitch right there, especially in a 1-0 count where for a first pitch you don't have to be that fine. You really, against a guy like Wilson, hitters aren't going to look for anything but a fastball. When the guy throws 98 miles an hour, they're going to sit on gas until they have to make an adjustment late in the count. And you can throw that into the strike zone early on.
Swing and a miss. 2-1.
That's country hardball right there. That was a straight challenge on a 2-0 count. And Ryan Zimmerman was trying to hit that thing in the Capitol building.
Which would be a fair ball, by the way.
Yes, it would.
See how far Zimmerman stands off the plate. 3-1. Adam Dunn is on deck. Zimmerman saw a fastball 2-0. Let's see what he sees here. He walked him.
3-1 breaking ball, a lot of respect there. So he had an open base, and he decided to use it. And he's going to take on the big fella, Adam Dunn, with the bases loaded.
According to our notes, Adam Dunn has never faced Brian Wilson before. One ball and no strikes.
Well, Adam Dunn's going to make you work. I mean, he's not going to go out of the strike zone. Very selective, very patient hitter.
One ball and one strike.
96 to 1 on the inside corner. I mean, that was a very, very important pitch. Getting into a 2-0 count, then you just simply have to take your chances going in the strike zone.
And it's not just the tying run at third, it's the lead run at second. One ball and one strike. One and two.
Right back in there on the hands. So now he's got count leverage, a 1-2 advantage. He's seen 3 fastballs. You stay on that side of the plate. You try and go right in his hands again. And he's got that option. You could try and go and cut at his back foot and drop that curveball in the dirt.
1-2. Wide, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty easy take there on the 1-2 pitch. Fans on the side that saw that go across the knees thought that was across the plate. It was wide by a foot, but Giants fans in attendance wanted this one badly for Randy Johnson. Very upset about the call.
2-2. You figure Wilson does not want to go 3-2. And here it comes. 3-2.
And now you just have to take your chances in the strike zone. You can't think corner. You just have to think, I need a challenge here.
Runners will take off. 3-2. Got him. Adam Dunn can't believe it. The Giants will walk off the field with the lead as we go to the 9th. It's 2-1 Giants.
Welcome back. 2-1 Giants. We're in the top of the 9th inning, and an emotional 3-2 pitch from Brian Wilson that leaves Adam Dunn standing. And watch Benji Molina snag this one right at the base of the strike zone and bring it back ever so much. And Tim Timmons, the plate umpire, said, looks pretty good from here. Adam Dunn irate over the strike 3 call that ended the inning. But it preserves the lead for the Giants and for Randy Johnson. And it's rare to see Adam Dunn argue, but obviously very upset about the call. Meanwhile, Wilson walked off, getting the out, and now the Giants are going to try and break up 19 consecutive men that have been retired by the Nationals pitching. The new pitcher for the Nationals, Joel Hanrahan, who is their closer. A very hard thrower. Hanrahan has a good fastball, goes mid to high 90s, a slider and a changeup.
And the 0-1 to Rowan is hit sharply up the middle. Diving is Gonzalez. He can't get it. And the Giants have a base runner here in the 9th inning. And their first base runner since Emmanuel Burris singled in the 2nd.
There's the numbers for Hanrahan. Started out as the closer, then sort of fell out of favor and worked his way back up the ladder and in again to that closing role. This is his 26th time he's come in. 30 strikeouts in 24 1/3 gives you an idea of the type of stuff he has. He's got closer stuff. It's just a matter of being able to be consistent with his location, and that at times has deceived him.
Edgar Renteria is 0 for 3. See if Bruce Bochy puts a play on. And that only play would be a hit and run. Tanner Johnson watching. Up and in is Renteria, shortened up to bunt. Giants have not scored since they scored 2 in the second inning. One and 0 to Edgar Renteria with Randy Winn to follow. Base hit, left field. Rowan is going to be on the move to third. Renteria is going to jog into second base with a double. Second and third, nobody out.
Well, Renteria's got to be happy about this. At 0 for 3 with a couple of punch outs in an error. Here he takes a pitch, and that's that fading action on the fastball of Hanrahan. Just sort of ran right in on the hands of Edgar Renteria, and he somehow squares it up, and here's the reward. A 2-base hit. And the Giants all of a sudden have something going here. After 19 consecutive Giants were retired in a row by National pitching, they have finally got some runners on and a little threat going here in the ninth.
Infield is in for Randy Winn, and Randy Winn takes one in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Randy Winn has bounced out twice, and he's popped out. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Change it from Hanrahan. A lot of people around here thinks he should throw that pitch more. Joe Beimel starting to get stretched out now for the Nationals.
Pulled foul up against the Nationals dugout, and now it's 1-2.
Hanrahan cannot be an easy guy to catch. I mean, that fastball movement's got a mind of its own. I mean, it'll fade, it'll sink, it'll cut, sail. And obviously a guy who's hard to catch is not going to be that easy to hit either. But if you're Will Nieves, you got your hands full right now.
Randy Winn pokes this one fair down the left field line. Rowan scores right behind him, Renteria, and it's an RBI double for Randy Winn, and it's 4-1.
Nice 2-strike hitting for Randy Winn. They sit up on the outside corner. This is not a hanger. It goes off the plate, and he just follows the movement and manages to keep it inside Zimmerman. And once it gets past Zimmerman, an easy score for Rowan and Renteria. And if you're Randy Johnson sitting in the clubhouse watching this one, you got to feel a whole lot better.
So here's Benji Molina. Molina is 0 for 3. Giants only had 3 hits going to the ninth. Now have 3 hits in the ninth, with Molina waiting on Hanrahan. Swinging a drive over the leaping Gonzalez. That's a base hit. Randy Winn is going to hold up at third, as he had to freeze thinking Gonzalez might catch that baseball, and that's 4 straight hits in a row for the Giants. And Manny Acta's coming out. And And Manny Acta is going to go to the bullpen. As the Giants have scored 2 more in this 9th inning, and they've got 2 more out on the bases. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. We'll be back. It's 4-1 Giants here in the 9th inning. Joe Beimel is the new pitcher, and Pablo Sandoval is going to pinch hit. I also should mention that my partner, Mike Krukow, is headed down onto the field. If the Giants win this and Randy Johnson gets the victory, then he will be doing an interview Giants postgame live. In between games, Mike will be doing an interview with Randy Johnson. So here's Pablo Sandoval facing Joe Beimel. And Sandoval takes a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Win at third. Molina at first. Sandoval. And the 0-1. And Sandoval hits a little pop-up down the right field line that's going to sail into the seats. And it's 0-2. Giants with a 3-run lead. They obviously are looking for more and would like more. Sandoval hitting .301 with 3 home runs and 20 driven in. Beimel throws up high, 1-2, and that's the book on young Pablo Sandoval. If you get ahead in the count, see if you can get him to chase a pitch up. The more he sees those, the better he'll get at not chasing. Foul back. Beimel with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Four runs, 7 hits for the Giants. 1 run, 3 hits for the Nationals. Beimel deals to Sandoval, and it's way outside, 2-2. Randy Johnson, if you just joined us, went 6 innings, allowed 2 hits. He allowed an unearned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. The 2-2, 3-2. And yes, indeed, he is the pitcher of record right now. I mentioned his line. He threw 78 pitches. He left the game with a 2-1 lead. Three and 2 to Sandoval. Here it comes. Line drive, center field, coming in is Dukes. Dukes will make the running catch. Randy Wynn's coming in. Here's the throw. It hits the mound and Wynn scores. And it's 5-1. So Pablo Sandoval with a sacrifice fly. Nice base running by Randy Wynn. And here's Andres Torres. Andres Torres hitting at .250 at the plate with Molina at first. And he lines one into center field. Dukes is drifting back, and he will put it away, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Juan Uribe. So the Giants put together 4 straight hits here in the 9th inning. So here's Uribe. And the pitch. And Uribe squibs it off the end of the bat, and that'll roll foul. A kick save by Roberto Kelly. As he caroms, he kicked it in the direction of R.J. Thompson, and one of the rookie umpires. R.J. didn't know what to do with it, so he threw it back to Roberto Kelly. It takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Roberto Kelly has got a shin guard on his left elbow and a shin guard on his right shin and a shin guard on his left shin. It looks like he's playing another sport. The 1-1 pitch. Swinging a dribbler up in front of home plate. Beimel has it. He will spin around. He'll throw a bit wildly, but hanging on is Nick Johnson, and that ends the inning. Here comes the bottom of the 9th. It's the Giants 5 and the Nationals 1. It's a 5-1 lead for the Giants here in the 9th inning, thanks to a 3-run insurance cushion in the top of this inning. Well, check out Randy Johnson. His day started as he walked out onto the field to get loose in rain, by the way. Struck out Adam Dunn in the 2nd. Struck out Austin Kearns in the 2nd. He knocked down this ground ball from Anderson Hernandez, and then the play of the day, Emmanuel Burris to Edgar Renteria to Travis Ishikawa, and Tanner Johnson says, "Dad, good job." Here's Elijah Dukes, swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Here in the 9th, it'll be Dukes, Kearns, and Belliard. Randy Johnson back in the dugout. A good shot of Randy's son Tanner, just kind of taking a peek to see how the old man's doing, as this had lifted foul down the right field line. .78 pitches, 50 strikes. 0-2 to Elijah Dukes. Wilson deals just outside, 1-2. How you doing, Dad? Here it comes the Dukes. 2-2. Dukes singled to lead off the 5th inning. Andres Torres is now in left field. Pablo Sandoval is at first base. The 2-2 is high, 3-2. It's up to Brian Wilson now to just quietly keep the Nationals from thinking they can get back into this game. The 3-2 pitch. Swinging a foul out of play. Three balls, 2 strikes. Got him. As Wilson blows the fastball by Elijah Dukes. 96 miles per hour. 1 out here in the 9th. And here's Kearns. At 45 years old, Randy Johnson in the rain. A chance to win career number 300. Here's Kearns. Outside corner strike. And it's 0-1. Been a very strange 2 days here in Washington, D.C. due to the weather. The 0-1 pitch is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Krukow has gone down onto the field. He will have an interview with Randy Johnson if this game stays the same, and he'll do that during Giants post-game live, which will be in between games. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Austin Kearns. Just inside, 2-2. Metters came in, Affeldt came in, and now Wilson. And the 2-2 pitch. Foul back is Kearns, got a fastball belt high at 97 miles per hour. So Wilson pumping in fastballs. The Johnson family headed back to their seats. As I mentioned, if you just joined us, it has rained all afternoon. Kearns takes high and in, 3-2. It appears today that for Brian Wilson, it's just going to be a 3-2 day. Three balls, 2 strikes. Got him. 2 down in the 9th.
He keeps going 3-2 and coming up with the big pitch. However, it's okay. I think it just adds to the drama of the moment. Smooth.
Well, yeah. I mean, he seems to be more comfortable throwing that 3-2 pitch than the 1-2 pitch, but that's fine.
Now, for whatever reason, he is able to focus on that 3-2 pitch. There you see Randy Johnson, a small smile with his son Tanner.
Here's Belliard, who looks at a pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Belliard is 0 for 3. And a strike.
Well, if the old man's not smiling on the bench, his son Tanner is.
He always checks, though, Mike, to see how the old man's doing.
Yeah, he definitely is not smiling when he's facing the old man, but that young man cannot suppress it any longer.
Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2. The 0-2 pitch is just outside, 1-2.
Well, you know it's got to go 3-2.
The chant of Randy ringing around the ballpark. And the 2-2. 3-2. It's going to be a 3-2 day.
Well, Tanner Johnson looked like he's enjoying the whole thing a whole lot more than the old man is.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Belliard. Here it comes. Up the middle. Burris knocks it down. Recovers. The throw. Not in time. As Belliard beats it out. Emmanuel Burris made the best of it. Once it rolled away from him, I didn't think he had any chance at all. And it turned out that he nearly got him.
One thing about Belliard, it takes him a little while to get unwound. He takes a big cut, and that gave Burris a bit of an extra opportunity there. But Belliard still runs pretty well. And it looked like it was bang bang to first, and tie goes the runner. And for Randy Johnson, he'll have to wait just a little bit longer.
And it'll be Will Nieves who will come up with 2 outs. It'll be an infield hit for Belliard. And a strike to Nieves, and it's 0-1.
Every Giant wants to be in this box score on the day that Randy Johnson gets his 300th win.
Out of play, nothing in 2.
And for Brian Wilson, he's talked about this opportunity. He wants to be the guy that saves this game for the big fella. Now he's just one strike away.
Strikes out the side, and Randy Johnson with his 300th career win. And this is his moment, folks. His wife, Lisa. Tanner is going to go out with the old man, and I don't blame him. The sixth left-handed pitcher with 300 wins, the 24th. Very nice. Our next telecast on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is in about 20 minutes as the Giants and Nationals play game 2 of this doubleheader. Stay tuned. We'll hear from the newest member of the 300 Club as Mike will interview Randy Johnson. But first, we'll watch some hugs. And then we'll go to the studio. His Giants postgame live starts right now.
Well, that was the pitch that they'll be talking about when this one is over. This is the pitch that officially put this game in the books for Randy Johnson. 5-1 Giants over the Nationals, and the unit is baseball's newest member of the 300 Victory Club. And with that, welcome into Giants Post-Game Live. Scott Reese side by side with Bip Roberts. Bip, we saw history, and I tell you what, talk all you want about the controversial call in the 8th inning, but Randy Johnson earned it with what he did in 6 innings tonight.
Yeah, he really did. He went out there, and he was a Randy Johnson of old. He went out there, and he retired the first 9 out of 10 hitters he faced, and his teammates were behind him the whole game. You know, we talked about it in the pregame. If your teammates come out and play well for you as a pitcher, the chances of you going out there and winning are great. But if you're a great pitcher, the chances of you going out there are almost 100% that you can win. So today, Randy Johnson showed that with great pitching and a great team behind him, this is how you get to 300.
And Randy had to deal with some adversity that not a lot of guys on this list of 24 300-game winners have had to deal with, namely a rain delay for 4 hours yesterday in a game that's ultimately postponed, and then coming out today amidst all the uncertainty, Bip, and he didn't really know if he was going to get to go out there and do it today either.
And, you know, 20 years from now, when he tells the story, that'll make it that much sweeter. I had to wait 24 hours through the rain delays. It was storming when I went out on the mound. It was lightning and thunder crackling around me, but I was able to go out there and get my 300 because I had a great team behind me that day, and they played great defense and got timely hitting.
At the rate he's going, 20 years from now, he might be going after career win number 500. Who knows, going to go after Cy Young. But, hey, 45 years old. He is the second oldest pitcher to achieve that 300th career victory. He is the 6th left-hander to do it. I mean, we could throw stats at you all day. Here's an interesting one. The first member of the 300 win club, Bip, to have claimed victories against all 30 major league teams in existence today.
Well, when you talk about greatness, only a guy like Randy Johnson could achieve something like that. And when you think about it, 6'10", he's able to throw the ball in the mid-90s, a great crispy slider, just tremendous control. And, you know, he goes out there focused each and every time with determination to win.
He was focused early and often, and we get you back out now live to Washington, D.C., and Mike Krukow standing by with the man of the hour. Kruk.
Welcome back to Washington National Park here, and a historical day as Randy Johnson has joined just 24 men in baseball history to be a 300-game winner. And Randy, you worked incredibly hard your whole career. There were times you didn't know if your body was going to allow you to do this. You persevered, and now that you have made this a tremendous accomplishment, how do you feel?
Well, exhausted, but my work's done yet. I didn't come here just to win 5 games. I came here to help this team turn things around and hopefully get us to the playoffs. And so there's still a lot of hard work ahead, but it's nice to get the win. It's nice to have this moment with my family and friends that came and my teammates, and think about all the teammates that I've had along the way, starting back in Montreal to Seattle, the 9 or 10 years that I played there, then to Houston for the 2 months, and Arizona for the great run that I had with my teammates there, and then for New York for a couple of years, then back to Arizona, and then finally back here for what I hope is a real good year for the team and myself as well. So it's been a long road, and I guess the one word that would sum it all up was just that I've persevered. I battled with mechanics early in my career. I battled with injuries towards the end of my career, but a game like today means a lot, not necessarily because of what happened, but because of the way I pitched. I mean, these kind of games mean more to me than going out and striking out 15, because it's a good lineup there, and I actually pitched great defensive plays behind me, but it's actually a lot of fun going out there and getting ground balls and getting double plays, and because you have to pitch now, and that's what I've realized several years ago, that I actually can't overmatch any hitters anymore, but I have to pitch and persevere, and that's one reason why my location is that much more critical at this point in my career.
Well, tremendous defense. You made mention it was Aaron Rohn who got things started with a great play early in the ball game, and then it was Emmanuel Burris who had the play of the game, and we can watch these right here.
Well, Aaron made a great play off of Nick Johnson, and then Belliard came up, and I think it was Belliard that came up and hit the ground ball to Emmanuel, made a great play playing double play depth, and that could have turned the game around for them easily with a couple of guys on base, and here we got 2 outs. So that's just, I've been fortunate to be around long enough, do a few nice things from a personal standpoint and from a team standpoint, but I think the one thing, it's kind of all coming together right now, and a lot of times things didn't really sink in until maybe a day, a week, a month later to actually what we had done, whether it was win a World Series or the perfect game and things like that. But, it's a special moment to share it with the national fans here that came out and bared it through the rain yesterday and today, and were cheering us on, and just to have my family and friends here too. A lot of them weren't able to stick around for the extra day, but a lot of people that I know watched it back home, my mom, and so I'm happy and thankful that I have that much support.
Well, talk about the last out. You were sitting with your son Tanner there and watching the 27th out. What was going through your mind?
Well, Willie's got an overpowering fastball, and when he's out there pitching, it's things can pretty much be under control with him out there, but I think it's the coolest moment to be able to share something like this with my son. Obviously I wish my dad was around. He wasn't able to see any of my games for the last 17 years, but upstairs he's probably watching, and that's why I think this moment's so special for me and my son.
Well, it's special for all of baseball fans, not just Giants fans, but for all the fans in general. They took great rejoice in Seattle, seeing you win and pitch well up there, and coming here against the organization that you started out in, against this Nationals organization that used to be the Expos, and you won your 300th, and I can speak for all of us in the baseball world. Tremendous accomplishment. Congratulations. Just one of 6 left-handers to ever have done this. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Randy Johnson, on a very, very historical day, we now give it back to the studio. Guys, it's all yours. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
All right, Kruk, and of course our congratulations as well to the unit, who, as I mentioned, becomes the 2nd oldest pitcher to reach that magical 300-win plateau. Phil Niekro did it back in October of 1985 at age 46. Randy, of course, will be 46 at the conclusion of this season. But, you know, Bip, I don't care how old you are, this is a special day to notch 300. I mean, there are numbers and then there are numbers, and baseball is all about stats and numbers, but 300 for a pitcher, that's up there.
Oh, that is tremendous. That is special. And to Randy from the East Bay, Livermore, everyone is joyful and happy that he was able to accomplish this. But when you start talking about a guy like Randy and 300, you know, 300 is a magic number for hitters. We want to hit 300. When you start talking about 300, the number for pitchers, that's a number that's pretty much to the point where I don't think anyone can get there. You start thinking like, wow, how can you get 300 wins as a pitcher? Well, you have to persevere, just like you said. Stay healthy, have good stuff, be around good teammates, play on teams that like to win, and above all, you know, just have the faith that your abilities will get you as far as you take them. And Randy Johnson is a prime example of that. 6'10", as he said, he used to throw, had no command or control of his fastball whatsoever, but he learned to refine that, and it became a 300-game winner. And, you know, a future Hall of Famer, and thank God right now he's a Giant.
Randy now tied with Lefty Grove and Early Wynn for 22nd on the all-time wins list. Tom Glavine would be next, and Glavine, of course, just released yesterday by the Braves, could possibly be at the end of his road, which means Randy could vault him within the next few weeks. But, you know, what struck me, Bip, about that sequence and watching Randy as the final out was recorded, there with his son, and he was still sort of stoic and didn't show a lot of emotion. There was a brief moment where he let his guard down, and you saw the big smile. I've never seen him smile that big, where he realized, wow, after all he's been through, not only in 20 years in this game, but also the last 24 hours with the rain and the delays, that this was a moment that can never be duplicated.
Well, you're absolutely right. It's the culmination of his entire career in one game, where you see Randy Johnson, the dominator, the first few innings, first 5 innings. Then you see Randy Johnson, the guy who's grown into such a team leader, watching and in position to win 300, saying, well, let's get this over with. I'm starting to get nervous. But in all of that, he started to smile because he started to get comfortable. He started to realize that his ultimate dream was about to come true. Yes, he's won World Series, but the 300 number, that is a tremendous number, and he was able to get that today.
We talked on the pregame show about the win as a baseball statistic and how a lot of things have to go your way. It's not just about going out and pitching well. You got to have some help, and he got it from his defense, and he got it from his bullpen. And this was the at-bat here in the 8th inning. Up 2-1, Johnson is long gone. After a couple of pitching changes, Brian Wilson, the closer, brought in, walks, the bases loaded, and now Adam Dunn coming up on a 3-2 pitch, and umpire Tim Timmons, Bip, making the call here that's going to keep him in the headlines for the next couple of days.
Yeah, this pitch, if you're a hitter, you want it to be called a ball. If you're Bochy, if you're Randy Johnson, if you're Wilson, that is a strike. I believe as a hitter, anything close with 3-2, you have to swing the bat. That pitch, although it looks slow, after it goes across the plate, it looked like a strike going across his knee. That's too close to take.
To Bip Roberts, that's a strike. To Adam Dunn, I'm not quite sure.
Tim Timmons called it a strike, and it is a strike. In that situation, it's too close to take, and anytime it's 3-2, the umpire opens the plate a little bit, and he calls strikes.
Nonetheless, got to get your bat off your shoulders.
That's
if
right.
that pitch goes a different way, well, we're making plans for Arizona next week, and Randy against his former team. Now he can go for career victory number 301. But again, you got to have help, and he got some offense early on. Not a lot, but as it turns out, just enough that his bats picked him up, and the way Jordan Zimmerman pitched, you know, they were lucky to get much at all.
Well, Zimmerman was great. He had good stuff. He's one of those kids that when he's hot, he has great stuff, and sometimes he gets just to the point where he throws pitches in the zone and he makes mistakes there. In that second inning, Lewis, Ishikawa, Burris, they come up with big hits and they score 2 runs. Uribe hits the ball hard to get the guys over and score a run, but these guys in that second inning put together a great inning where they were able to put 3 hits together and score 2 runs.
And how about props to Emmanuel Burris, who made the defensive play of the day, maybe of the season, and we'll see that momentarily. And there you see the RBI single that made it 2-1 and ultimately was the game-winning RBI, if they still counted that stat, in giving Randy Johnson the lead. And let's talk now about that defense, because the play that Burris made, you know, given the gravity of this situation, this is one of the most impressive plays in baseball all season, not just the Giants.
Well, it's wet, it's muddy out there, and he has to get a good jump on that ball because it's hit hard to his right. That's a tough play for a second second baseman. But he takes one step in a dive, he flips it to Renteria, who was waiting for that. They've worked together in defense. They know each other very well. Gives him a great feed to come across the base. And Renteria, all he has to do is get off a good throw, and he does that very well. A nice, strong throw to first to complete the double play.
Well, and a one run's going to score on that play, but the other base runner's probably going to get to third base. So you're looking at first and third bit with nobody out. So it's not just a question of the run coming in. It's a big inning possibly, and the entire complexion of this game changes if that ball gets through to the outfield.
It really does. This game is a game based on inches and chances, and when you get the chances like he did, you have to make the plays.
And speaking of making plays, how about the unit? The cat-like quickness at 6'10".
Well, I can tell he didn't play basketball, but I tell you, he's a very good athlete in this situation right now. It's just a catch and a throw, and he's off balance, and at 6'10", that's a very difficult play.
At 6'10" and 45 years of age, mind you, to have the reflexes to field your position, and this is just pure unadulterated desire here, saying I'm going to grab this thing and whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Well, it's great fundamentals because when he went down to the ball, he put his hand on top of the ball. He didn't try to scoop it up or anything. He put his hand on top of it and made sure he caught it in order to throw it.
You know, I neglected to look up the career numbers. I'm sure you faced Johnson more than one occasion. What's it like to stand in against 6'10", especially back in the day when he was throwing 99 regular?
Yeah, I faced Randy Johnson back when he was with the Seattle Mariners, and he had a mid-90s fastball with tail and cut. He had a great slider that it looked like an illusion ball. It was right there 1 second. Next thing you know, it was at the back of your ankles. But I tried to keep him in a zone and just try to make him throw in my zone, which was very small. But Randy Johnson, I think he struck me out twice that day, and it was a tough day. I got one hit, and I was really happy I got the one hit.
Yeah, that put you above a lot of others. So that's it? You only faced him one day?
No, I faced him a few times. I got a few hits off of Randy.
Did you?
Being a small guy, he had to come down to my zone, and I tried to take advantage of that. But Randy Johnson pretty much beat us every time we faced him.
Well, he beat a lot of teams en route to 300 career victories. But, what does it mean for this Giants franchise? Yeah, 5 of the 300 wins as a Giant. Clearly, he's not going to go into the Hall of Fame wearing a Giants cap, and when people think Randy Johnson 20 years from now, they're not going to think Randy Johnson, San Francisco Giants. That said, what does it mean for the organization to have him wearing that uniform on this day?
Well, the Giants have done a lot of things right in the past. In their history, they have guys who are Hall of Famers, guys who have been on All-Star teams, guys who have won just about any and every award that you can think of. And, you had Barry Bonds here who broke the home run record. So with Randy, once again, you get a guy in here who can set records as a lefty, 300 wins, one of the only 6 lefties of all times. But he brings history to the Giants once again. When you look at Randy Johnson's name, and you'll see on this date, he was a Giant, and he won his 300th victory, and that put him into the Hall of Fame, or put the Giants into the record books.
Of course, Randy mentioned how extra special this is because his family was in attendance. His son Tanner there in the dugout. He was the bat boy today, wearing the 51 on the back. His wife Lisa was there in the stands for as long as she could tolerate the wet stuff, I imagine, and then she came back out for the 9th inning. And Bip, as a family guy, you've got kids. What's it like to have that kind of support when you're going through a momentous kind of day as a ball player?
Well, that's a special moment that the family will never forget. I'm sure they'll have it on tape and they'll relive that each and every time they feel like rejoicing. But as a father and son combo, son gets to watch dad work, someday wants to be like dad. And when you're in that situation, you have dad right there, you see how dad is working through that situation, you grow up and want to be just like him.
Randy Johnson's line, 6 innings, just 2 hits, 1 run, and it was an unearned run, so he was almost perfect, really. Walked 2, struck out 2, and you heard him talk about how, back in the day he was striking out 12, 13 guys. Now he's got to pitch. He's got to get groundouts. He's got to get double plays. Talk about the stuff that we saw out of the unit today that allowed him to be as effective as he was.
Well, he had what we talk about the great arm slot today. He was able to get on top of the ball, stay inside when he had to, and go soft away. He was hard in, soft away. He had the slider working backdoor, had the slider working inside. So Randy today, because of his arm slot, was able to get back to Randy of old. No, he didn't throw 98, 99, but he was very crafty out there. He was able to mix his pitches up and be that crafty lefty that he's developed into. Not throwing as hard, but able to move the ball around and to where it just misses the barrel of the bat, and you get an easy ground ball or a simple pop-up.
Back in the day when you were standing in against 6'10", did you ever think the words crafty lefty would be used to describe him?
No. When I looked out and saw Randy, I thought, hopefully he won't hit me.
Thought, who's that guy on his shoulders?
I mean, he was wild, but he was effective with it being wild. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he developed this refined control, and all of a sudden he became this great pitcher, and you go, wow, man, I'm glad he has control because I was a little afraid in that box.
Let's go back to the emotion of this game. And you saw it in not just Randy, but his teammates. You know, Brian Wilson has said all along he wanted to get the baseball when this day finally did get here, and he got it. And it almost didn't go his way with that borderline pitch in the 8th, but then Wilson buckled down, struck out the side in the 9th inning. What's it like, emotionally speaking, to be on the field when something like this happens?
Great feeling. You want the ball, just like Brian wanted the ball. Affelt wanted the ball. You know, Metters wanted the ball. They all wanted to go out there and be a part of this 300th victory for Randy Johnson. They didn't want to be the guy to blow it for Randy Johnson. They wanted to be the guy to help him win it. And as we said earlier, when you have great teammates, you have a great bullpen like the Giants have, those guys, they're looking forward to this type of moment. And when they get it, they won't let it go by without a fight. And that's what happened today. You know, Wilson didn't have his great stuff, but he went out there with everything he had as far as emotionally and mentally, and he got the job done.
And again, Randy in the post-game news conference, and again, we'll hear more from Randy Johnson momentarily as we'll take you back live to Washington, D.C. as he addresses the media now that he's had a little bit of time to let this all sink in. But, you know, you heard him in the heat of the moment, and again, so quick to, you know, effusive in his praise of the guys around him and what Burris did with that defensive play and what Rowan did with the great catch in the first inning. And, you know, Randy is very much aware of the team aspect of this game.
He sure is, and he said that in his comments. And the one thing I like is that he understands he didn't come here to win 4 or 5 games. He came here to help the Giants win, and he's a part of a team. And yes, today was a big day for him. It was a big day for the team. They were able to win and continue their winning ways. So as a team, as a unit, yes, it's great to get 300, but on top of that, it's great to get the win.
And what you just said is exactly what he told me when I sat down with him for that conversation back in February. He said, look, I didn't come here to win 5 games. I came here to win, you know, 12 or 15 or 18 or whatever he can do. So far, he's been perfectly healthy. And the way he's thrown the last 3 times out, I mean, 1 earned run, no earned runs. I don't care if you're 25 or 45. You can sustain that over 3 straight starts. You obviously have some pretty good stuff left.
He sure does. He doesn't throw as hard, but he's able to mix his pitches up. He's able to change speeds off of his breaking ball. He's able to change speeds off of his fastball. He's able to run it in. He's able to run it away soft. He's able to cut it in. He's able to backdoor it. So he's a very smart pitcher out there. No, he doesn't have the physical capabilities he had 5, 10 years ago, but he's still Randy Johnson, a guy who, when he's on the mound, he's capable of winning that ball game because he has the experience. And he still has the physical abilities to go out and win, but he has the mental capabilities to go out and shut teams down.
Well, he was mentally and physically tough today. Only the 2 strikeouts, but only 2 hits over 6 innings. You will certainly take that. In fact, he was perfect through the first 3. And you see the preamble. You see all the folks gathered and the lights and cameras. All we need now is the action, waiting for the tall left-hander to appear before us and talk about this historic 300th career victory. Oh, by the way, it was game 1 of a doubleheader. I don't think a lot of people even remember that there's still another game to be played, and you got Matt Cain taking the baseball. So I guess if you're the Giants, you know, with all this wet stuff, you got to feel pretty good about the possibility of getting the sweep today after what Randy did in game 1 and then Cain coming out in game 2.
You're absolutely right. First game, you can't win the second game or sweep if you don't win the first game. And with Randy Johnson doing what he did the first game, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 Ks and a win. And then to have, you know, Matt Cain coming after Randy, that's going to be a treat for all baseball fans who get a chance to watch.
And here it is in super slow-mo. And, you know, Matt, no matter how many times you see it, you have to be impressed at what Randy Johnson did today. All right, I am told that he's finally reached the podium, and there he is, 6'10" and 300 career victories to his credit. Let's listen in live. Randy Johnson at Nationals Park.
Anybody?
Randy, you tried not to make a big deal of it, but now that it's happened, obviously, we can see the emotion. It obviously is a big deal.
No, absolutely. I think this is it's hard to describe it, but it's like the perfect game that I threw. You know, it didn't really sink in because it was a kind of a one-game accomplishment, and it happened in one day. And it, you know, it wasn't like I set out to do that. It happened. And so it kind of caught me off guard. This is a kind of a long-term thing that's been going on for 21 years. And, you finally get to this day and you know that if your team plays well, you pitch well, that something can happen that's only happened a few other, 24 other times. So I think, I'm actually more nervous now than I was pitching. I was just kind of a loss for words. I mean, I'm just happy that my family and friends were able to come. There's not as many of them as I would have liked, but being on the East Coast, I'm happy that for my teammates from the very beginning, Montreal to Seattle, to Houston for the 2 months that I was there, to Arizona, to New York, to Arizona again, to San Francisco. It's been a long road, and I couldn't have done it without all the teammates that I've had, and the support and the bullpen and the defense. I mean, the one thing that pitchers have control over essentially is maybe their ERA and strikeouts and the hits that they give up, but they have no control over the wins that they get. And, to me, wins have always outweighed strikeouts because I didn't, strikeouts were just something that kind of happened, but I think that I wanted to be more known for, winning ball games and striking people out. And so, pitching a game like today or pitching a game like I did against the Braves or pitching a game like I did against Seattle, I get more gratification out of that because of the way I'm doing it now than the way I may have done it 10 years ago. I mean, I'm actually going out there and pitching. I mean, you saw the defense today. Emmanuel made a great double play. I was, that was pivotal. I could have turned the whole game around if that's a base hit. And my senior moment where I thought I was 25 and made that play. But, you think about it, I'm almost coming up on 600 games that I've started. And so there's been a lot of peaks and valleys, and, to think that I've come along this far with.
Good lineup for you on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll have Game 2 of the doubleheader coming up, post-game live, and then the Randy Johnson special after that. Kruk and Kipe next.